behind your back is virtually impossible. You know, the reason why I have a problem, like Jamie is saying, concerning the inconsistency is because you have to go back to last season where we had a lot of inconsistency concerning referees. And when it comes to this season, I think that the referees have tried their best to play to allow the game to play.
You say try their best and you're already laughing about the situation by yourself because these same referees have already been dealt a heavy blow by the Homologation and Disciplinary Committee of the Cameroon Football Federation.
Yes.
So you have to understand that the new mandate of the magnificent president, as a lot of people will call him, Samuel Eto'o, is bent on ensuring that everything moves smoothly and we go away and move away from the idea that a lot of games are fixed in the offices.
Yeah, the reason why I say so is because I'm going back to the aspect of the penalty, like Jimmy is talking about it. You know, the second one was, to me, I don't know how I can classify it, because if somebody is going down on the floor to defend, and even if you look at the second penalty, the hand was stuck like this, and you don't expect the player to cut the hand. So how do you expect the player to defend?
In simple terms, penalty or no penalty?
We're talking about the second or the first, because the first, like I said, the player went like this to defend, and it was the same case that we saw.
So that is what we are talking about.
Not a penalty. The second one also, the player was going down and he was trying to defend. The ball hit his hand, and I don't think, to me, we can really consider that as a penalty. So two penalties to me, I don't think was a penalty. The third one, like I said, to me, I'm 50-50. I know a couple of referees will give that. In other situations, probably the referee might not give, but just because of the fact that it was Victoria United, I think that's why a lot of people have a problem. Yeah, because of the fact that the referees gave 3 penalties. A lot of people, like, probably they are trying to side with Victoria United. But I think the one other thing that we're failing to understand and to look at it was the game itself. You know, the controversies most of the time always take away the star of the show, which are the players. And so sometimes when I go and watch a game, I don't like to focus more on the controversy,
on the talking points,
because we fail to look at the players. Look at Bill Deporto. He was on the bench, came out in the second half, got two penalties and scored 2 goals in the game. That's the individuals we should be talking about. Look at the player who left Lyonga, he left Senior Deh from the regional league. He played exceptionally well with Senior Deh, went to Victoria United, and I want to give him a 60% pass in that particular game, because I think that the first game under his new club the pressure might have been there, because he had a lot of ball possession taken away from him. His touches weren't quite really there, but I think he can step up in the second game. So I think we should maybe focus on the game itself, because I think the first 45 minutes for me, Victoria United was just excellent in the first 45 minutes. I think the penalty spoiled the second half of the game.
Yeah, you can focus on the game, looking at the players' performance when it comes to the field of play, but there are these talking points in games that you never.
That will make the football. That will make it exciting.
So the game normally had the picture which we came to see an Anglophone derby. In the first half, we saw the two teams actually putting all the heart in that particular game. We saw the fighting. We saw the chances which the two teams created. Yes, that's the football. But now, once the game came into the second half, the first few minutes to the second half, when P came in with Elwood Banter, came in and scored that goal, made 2 moves, we knew, hey, we are up for something. We are up for something like maybe a United versus a Chelsea game in Europe. The fans were excited to see. But once that P goal was disallowed, clear goal, no instance where you could find maybe a tight corner to see an offside. From that moment, you start bringing a kind of, you start making the game to the fans.
So what you're saying is probable cause. That's probable cause for why.
And then going forward, you award a penalty to
the opposing team.
So, and which is debatable that it's not a penalty.
Very
that
much
already start making the game not being
fair, not balanced,
not being, people don't focus again on the players. They start focusing now on the referee. Any critical moment in the game, you start anticipating that, hey, the referee will do this and do that. So those are the things which we tend to forget. Yes, the game caused what we had to see, but the officiating wasn't the best. We should say that clearly. We came there to watch an Anglophone derby. The first game of the season, you need to look at that game as a top match, and you need the best referees to handle such a game, because it is a game of bragging rights, not a game of any 3 points anymore. You could have the 3 points, good and fine, but it's a game of bragging rights where you need classic referees, you need classic game, even if there was to be a kind of whatever they want to do, but that such games are games that attract the population, that lobbies the population to watch Elite One games. If you cannot provide good referees to handle such a game, I heard the referee was coming from the regional league, right
up to Elite One.
So that's not the kind of game where a referee should be officiating of that caliber. Now, these are two teams who are former champions, and former champions, recent champions, 2021 and 2024. That's 3 years difference. Which means you need the best referees to handle such a game. You don't need the class of referees that we saw. You need the best. If you bring the best, you are blessed. You bring him, can handle that particular game. Just agree, referees.
I just want to talk about the penalty instance concerning Peter Bamenda. I think if you watch that particular game, you understand the reason why there was an offside. And like I said, I always tell people that let's go back and we watch the instance, watch the feeds, watch the reports, read a lot of articles concerning the game. Some people are talking about the fact that the referee blew an offside because a player of Peter Bamenda was out of the touchline when the cross was given. So by the time the goal was scored, the player was not inside the field of play. It was considered offside. So I think those are the technicalities that sometimes we miss. But it's always good that, because sometimes we think about the fact that the referee is cheating the red ass, the referee is just doing the job. So naturally, if you're offside, we know that there's certain instances that can make being offside. So probably that is why the referee said it was an offside in that particular game.
All right, talking about offsides and all the happenings, the shenanigans, the talking points, we're going to bring that on subsequent editions of the program. But first, let's grab a breather, ladies and gentlemen. This is Sports Carnival. This is where kings and queens play. We'll come back, we tell you about match day 2 of the MTN Elite One Championship, focusing on Victoria United Steel. They were away to Dynamo Football Club of Douala, and they lost that game. And we'll also talk about PWJ Bamenda, who were playing in front of their home fans for the first time in a very long while. Stay with Royal TV. Up next, we continue the program.
The vision of Africa, where news hits right, where sports bring the fire, where debates spark real conversations, and morning shows set the mood for your day.
I will be your host, and of course, the team at Royal TV will be here to keep you entertained, to inform you, and of course, to educate you.
Welcome to Royal TV. This is where kings and queens play. If you want to talk football, local, national, international, we have the best analysts in the Southwest region and beyond. This is Sports Carnival with the Joker.
Mondays, Wednesday, and Friday.
We are here to make sure all of that happens here, today, tomorrow, and always. Stay tuned.
From our streets to your screen, from our culture to the world.
It's massive.
It's more than TV, it's a movement. Royal TV, the vision of Africa.
Royal TV, see us clearly. Royal TV, the vision of Africa. From village to city, we shine.
This is Royal Television. We are here in Boya and we are coming to your screens. Be prepared, be ready.
This February, something fresh is coming from Boya Town.
Royal TV, from Boya Town, division of Africa.
A new sound, a new screen, a new energy.
It's about to begin.
Welcome to Royal TV, the vision of Africa, where news hits right, where sports bring the fire, where debates spark real conversations, and morning shows set the mood for your day.
I will be your host, and of course, the team at Royal TV will be here to keep you entertained, to inform you, and of course, to educate you.
Welcome to Royal TV. This is where kings and queens play. If you want to talk football, local, national, international, we have the best analysts in the Southwest region and beyond. This is Sports Carnival with the Joker.
Mondays, Wednesday, and Friday.
We are here to make sure all of that happens here,
Today, tomorrow, and always. Stay tuned.
From our streets to your screen, from our culture to the world.
It's massive.
It's more than TV, it's a movement. Royal TV, the vision of Africa.
Royal TV, see us clearly. Royal TV, the vision of Africa. From village to city, we shine.
This is Royal Television. We are here in Boya and we are coming to your screens. Be prepared, be ready.
This February, something fresh is coming from Boya Town.
Royal TV, from Boya Town, the vision of Africa.
A new sound, a new screen, a new energy.
It's about to begin.
Welcome to Royal TV, the vision of Africa, where news hits right, where sports bring the fire, where debates spark real conversations, and morning shows set the mood for your day.
I will be your host, and of course, the team at Royal TV will be here to keep you entertained, to inform you, and of course, to educate you.
Welcome to Royal TV. This is where kings and queens play. If you want to talk football, local, national, international, we have the best analysts in the Southwest region and beyond. You're welcome back if you're just tuning in. This is Sports Carnival on Royal TV. And we're talking everything concerning local football. We kicked off with Victoria United against PWG of Bamenda at the Limbe Centenary Stadium, match day 1 of the MTN Elite 1 football season. Now we're talking about match day 2, Victoria United away. They played against Dynamo of Douala. Unfortunately, the outcome was not the same like it was in Limbe. They lost by 3-1 against a very good Dynamo side, Boris Isono. It was a very difficult game for the People's Club.
Yes, a very, very difficult game, but I think that's the beauty about football. That is the beauty. That's why we go to the field to watch the championship, because if we go to the field all the time, we see a lot of controversies, then it makes the game not to actually be good. But, you know, since we've talked about controversies, there have been a lot of controversies equally in this particular game between Dynamo and Victoria United. I just think that the fact that Victoria United still have a lot of young players probably is playing on them, because, you know, if you want to win a championship, most of the time you don't rely only on young players. And that's what I was talking with a couple of individuals, that yes, Victoria United has a good squad, but they have to add the quality players that they need. And see how they won the championship. They won it with solid players. They won it with quality players. Jay Richmond is not there. A couple of their senior players, we don't know what has happened to them. They've left already. And now they have a lot of young players. I think the average age is about 18 or 19 or so.
Right, that's right.
Yes,
maybe you're looking at the business aspect. You're looking at the business aspects of football.
Yes, we're looking at the business aspect, but for a club like Victoria United, I don't think that they rely much about the business aspect. You know, the president has the cash to spend. He can run that club without the business aspect like for 10 years. But I think that if they want to win the league again, they really need to step up their recruitment. I think their recruitment has been lacking in terms of this particular season.
Talking about winning the league, they were away to Dynamo, and this is the penalty. This is the penalty concern. Very early on in the game, surely this is a big talking point, because you see the movement of the ball, the defenders nowhere to be seen, goalkeeper caught in no man's land, and you know the referee took his time, Olandumbe, before awarding the red card, much to the surprise of a lot of the supporters.
No, the referee had already made a decision, playing an advantage, since it was a Dynamo player who was on the advantage, but he lost the chance.
Yeah, we're talking about that. What a miss.
Talking about that's a certain Vitel Yano who actually missed that golden opportunity, because the goal was empty. Just the two defenders were there. Had it been he hit the target, it could have been a different story altogether. But the fact that he lost, the referee was called to the technical bench by the foot official as well as the first assistant, and they discussed, and it was to be a red card because the foul came in. It's a scoring chance, and looking at the goalkeeper, he was the last person awaiting the onrushing attacker, and so that called for a red card. But we are not saying that it's not a red card foul, but the fact that the referee played the advantage, that shows the inconsistency we'll be talking about in the officiating. If you are not sure, then you should wait and then contact your fourth official. Don't give a decision that it's an advantage, and then you are being called back. We don't have a VAR where we can be looking at, say, okay, let's look at the screen to see if actually it was a red card or not. So that's where my problem is. That was why it became like a talking point. But however, the game was excellent. Aside from that controversy. The game was played, like Boris said, the inexperience of those guys. The Opopo boys played excellently well during the first half. They gave a good account of themselves, despite the fact that they were one man down. I was even shocked while running commentaries. I noticed that the players did not give any inferiority complex to Dinamo. But coming into the second half, there was need for experience because we were playing one man down, a goalkeeper down. You sacrifice one player against the Dinamo side, a hostile ground. Knowing Dinamo these days, they are really doing some good business. And the moment Dinamo scored, Opopo scored, I knew things were going to be different. But once Dinamo, it took just, I think, 6-8 minutes for Dinamo to score 2 goals, the second and the third goal. Just 8 minutes. That was the killer of the game.
You talked about experience. We know one man who is in the ranks of Dinamo now, who is very lethal in front of goal. He's been excellent as far as elite football is concerned. And as far as Dinamo versus Victoria United was concerned, he did find the back of the net. And we'll talk about goal scorers. He's right up there amongst those who've registered or opened their accounts. He already has 2 goals to his name, Jules Amankou. Maybe we get a video of that goal displayed for us.
Well, I think before we get to the goal, I don't know if we might talk about the miss of the season.
Yeah, it is the miss of the season.
I think that we can really classify it as the miss of the season because you cannot imagine for a player on goal and
this opportunity.
I don't know if I was the coach, Jim.
It should be a goal.
No, you cannot be on the pitch 10 minutes more than after you miss.
That's what I'm saying. If I was the coach, if I was Jose Mourinho, the next day or the next minute, you
should be punished.
No, but he scored.
Yeah, we're talking about the miss. We're talking about because that is where the controversy comes. Because if he had scored, I don't think that the referee would have brought the game back for a red card. But like you said, I think we have to look at 2 key things here. One, it was a foul from the goalkeeper which warrants a red card because he was the last player.
Clear goal scoring opportunity. 2,
if you look at the action from the point of view of where the goalkeeper made the mistake and how many seconds it took for that ball to be missed, I don't think it was almost 10 seconds.
That's right.
So to me, I don't see a problem with the red card. the reason why I say I don't see a problem is because the action from the minute the referee had played the advantage was not up to 10 seconds, about 5 or 6 seconds. So he was at his right because the ball did not materialize and going into the pole. He had to bring the game back to where the foul was considered. And to me, I don't see anything as a problem with the red card. I think the reason why people are talking about the fact that it was a problem was because the referee played the advantage, but they forgot to look at how many seconds that advantage, because you calculate now. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds. About 5 seconds. So I don't see a problem with the red card in that particular instance.
All right, thank you very much, Boris. After the game, Coach Saul Simplis, who is the man at the helm of Dinamo of Douala and making strides with the team already, he spoke and he said that Victoria United, they are not exactly the team that people talk about on social media. That is post-match comment. And he said that they are a very good side, but they did study the Victoria United team. And I'll be hoping that our chief technician on board, Dave, is going to bring us up that video of Saul Simplis telling us that they did the preparation work well, but he did also see that Victoria United are a very, very good side. Well, hopefully we'll get that video. And Boris, let's now talk about PWD of Bamenda. They are an excellent side, playing at home for the very first time in a long while. What does this mean, Dumbe? For the people of Bamenda, people of Abakwa, they're playing on a very good pitch. I'd say the best in the league at the moment.
Yeah, they always say half bread is better than none.
Yeah, you know, those of the Northwest, I think this is the time for them to also shine. Playing elite football in the Northwest, I think it was cost effective.
Very.
Yeah, playing away from home. At times you hear Yosa complain of you have to travel to Mbuda, travel to Bamising to go and play games, which are your home games, but you spend more than even, for instance, you play Bambutus in Buda, you are the home team, but you spend more than Bambutus. So that tells us of the cry of the Northwest clubs. But now playing against Tarena, it was going to be the game where they had to win it, because the way I saw P play against Lupo, but for taking away the controversies in the game, you see that they actually gave a good account of themselves. They went into the market, get some good names, Elwood Benta, one of them. We have the Bosco, the brother of Chindo. Those are guys who are willing to play, who want to execute what they know. And they went there against a Star Arena side, and it was a 5-star performance against a Star Arena side, beating them 4-1. They were playing in front of their number one person, the governor of the Northwest region, who was also there to cheer them up. So I think P. Bamenda is really going to perform excellently well this term. With the performance I saw on the various footages and so forth, I think they are on the right footing, and that defeat against Popo didn't really derail them. It didn't really discourage them, because they still went back to their drawing board. You saw even at one point in time their coach they wanted to do the Senegalese way in the game against Popo, but they came back to their senses and say, okay, let's go and play football.
We're happy that they did not, Molandumbe. Look at the quality of the pitches first of all.
Yeah, it's excellent, and it shows where they are. They've been crying for this, and they finally got it. Now the elite one, and got good enough that the president went to the government, to the city council, the Bamenda One Council, to strike a deal to use the stadium. I think that's another way for the team to generate revenue, because if you look at the tenor of the game, it's almost about 4 years since an elite game played free. He's free. Remember that the last one, which was played between P and Fortuna,
was interrupted.
No, it was interrupted by but you see that the people were really hungry to see elite football, and you could see from the stands this population fetch their monies. I think even if the federation has to take their own quota, they'll have something that they'll take back from us. I think this is what is needed for these clubs. They need this. They need some of this encouragement where they can get some sources of revenue. Having seen that most clubs are suffering in terms of finances, now having this facility, I think, is a good deal for them, and it's going to help them not only on the turf to play good football, but also financially. This club is going to get something.
Very quickly, Boris, where do you see PW of Bamenda with this state-of-the-art facility and the home support that they've been craving for a long time? Where do you see them finishing at the end of the season?
Well, I think they will not be fighting relegation, because after the first day of play, a lot of people were really talking about the fact that PW of Bamenda was bottom. And they were equally looking at the goal conceded -3, and they were like, maybe he's going to be a battle. Yeah, he's going to be very, very maybe down. But I think that I see P probably mid-table, because the side does not really strike me like one that can win the league. I'm not saying that they cannot cause an upset like what Leicester City did. But what I'm saying is that they have a good squad, young equally. I think the average age is about 21 or so. They have a young squad, definitely. They have a coach who wants to win something. Even in the interviews that they had before this game against Victoria United, was talking about the fact that they don't fear any team. They take it game by game. And I'm sure that with the home support, like Jamie talked about it earlier, you know, P hasn't played at home for like how many years? And they've been wanting to play at home. And now with this particular facility, it's going to help them to also make sure that the squad that they have, the support that they have, at least it can be showing. Remember, take for example, P is playing in the West region. How many people actually travel from the Northwest to the West every match day?
It's a long journey.
So it's a long journey, and also with the fact that we have this facility, it's going to serve as a booster of morale to the club. They now have a venue they can call their home. And I like what they've been doing. I think one the team press officer in one of the groups was talking about the fact that they are waiting Gazette, because Gazette talked about the fact that they are patient.
They are patient, yeah.
And they're going to...
we do have that picture, and I hope that Dave can find a way to bring it up. But before that, we'll be hoping that Dave can display the table for the MTN Elite One Championship. That's after match day. So after 2 playing days, we would like to see the table to analyze it here. But then you're talking about the ambience that goes with the league now, how the battle has gone from the field right up to the social media. And we talk about group admins, social media handlers, and you see Gazelle, PWD, Canon of Yaoundé, they are doing excellent work off the pitch.
Well, I think, you know, football in the past was always in the field of play. We forget to also look at the social media aspect of it. And I think that a couple of admins had really done a good job for the last couple of years. But I think that Gazelle, to me, takes the chapeau. Because the admin or the admins of this particular club changed the feel of the game. Did not actually make the game as a PWG or Bamenda or a Gazelle game. No, they made the game as a whole region. And that is what we want to see. And many have started capitalizing on what Gazelle is doing. And even if you look at last year, by the close of last year, we were trying to imitate what Gazelle was doing.
But
and
they're second on the table. On the field, they are doing excellently well.
See, I followed Gazelle for the last 3 years. And I bet to Jamie Tekeh, if you share the same opinion, Gazelle is on course to win the league. I think that, to me, this season, I want to give it to Gazelle. Because the last 2 years, Gazelle has been a very consistent squad. For the first 10, 20 games of the last 2 seasons, look at it, Gazelle has always been inside the top 3. Unfortunately, something happens with them. It's like the Arsenal, they start dipping in form. But
talking about Arsenal, you're going to bruise some egos because
it's true, because you look at Gazelle, Gazelle's playing well. They have a consistent squad.
A very young and dynamic squad
has been together for like how many years? And they are very, very consistent. They are only fighting now with Dynamo of Douala. So I bet you, if at all Dynamo does not take the league this year, Gazelle, to me, should be a front runner for the league.
What do we say about the likes of Egle of Chang?
Well, Egle of Chang, I think the good thing for them is that fact that they won the Cup of Cameroon. I think that's the only cup they're going to win this year. That to me should be the only cup they win this year, because I think if you look at the standings and if you look at the teams, I just think that there's no way I see Egle of Chang probably going up the table. Remember, just one team can win the league this year. And to me, the battles between Dynamo of Douala and Gazelle, not forgetting Cologne, because we might be thinking that Cologne is nowhere to be found. But Cologne boosted their squad before the conclusion of the league, because they were playing in the qualifier of the CAF Champions League. I think that probably might have hampered them, because the consistency has not really been there. But I still think that Cologne has what it takes to climb up the table. The only surprise package at the moment to me is Stade Rennais at the bottom. Because if you look at Stade Rennais, for the past couple of years, they've played the promotion battle for the league, when the league was being played in two formats. And I recall when the former coach David Pago was with Stade Rennais, when they played the Elite One Championship playoff in Douala, I was there. Stade Rennais played exceptionally well. So I'm sad to see them where they are at the moment. But I think that they can do something in the next couple of games.
You'll start to see them there.
Yeah.
You're not talking about record champions Coton Sport of Garwa, who are currently on just 2 points after 2 games.
Really, because Coton has been very, very poor for the last couple of years. I'm not sad to see them there, but I think that they have quality to climb up the table. It's not like I'm saying that Coton cannot climb. It's just that if you look at Stade Rennais, the performance that they had, and you want to compare what we're seeing, I think is very different.
Just 2 days of play. You look at the table, you find I don't really see Egle Chang giving a fight. You look at Panther of the fourth. I think Dynamo, I am still to watch them. Yes, they've won 2-2. That's a 2 home games. Let's see how they react away.
Where are we predicting our darling club Victoria United to finish the season?
Well, this season, I think Victoria United can't finish in the top 3. I foresee the same position last football season, they finish 6th.
Well, that's surprising coming from you in particular, because we know that you have a very soft spot for the People's Club.
No, I watched them play, but I think 6th should be their position. Looking at the Coton, I think the season just started. I think Pago will have to find its way to dazzle going into the more bigger games that are coming in. Yes, they are playing Coton Opopo tomorrow. I think that should be a game, that should be a turning point in their game. Yes, it's an away game. They've played 2 home matches, and their next, the North have their own calendar where they play 2 straight home games and then 2 straight away games. So let's see how Coton reacts against an Opopo side that beat them in Limbe last season. I think that was 2-0 or so. And I am also looking at a club, going sort of Colombe of Jambobo. they should not be right out away from this particular race. They will find their way. Richard Toa, like I said, Panther, they are coached by Yves Leman Aroga. They just won the Cup of Cameroon. Maybe they are still to digest that euphoria, but I think Panther is going to give a good one for their money. I see Panther winning this league this year.
Well, it should be an exciting debate when it comes.
Like Colombia,
we're getting towards the end of the season.
Just like Colombia won the cup the season before, and they won the league. I see Panther going in that light. Going in that light. They might be one win, one draw, but the season is still far long. 26 games remaining. So anything can happen there. I see Panther.
I think if we might just talk about the table now, I think if you highlighted the 13th spot, a lot of people might be asking why is it that it's not red equal. I think that's a distinction that we should probably make.
That is right.
Yeah, in terms of the league. We know that the person who sits first is the champion, obviously. The 13th spot is quite a challenge this year because, you know, at first we usually have about 2 teams relegated, 3 teams relegated, but this year automatically just one team will be relegated. Automatically, I say so because there's a distinction. That's why you see 13 is highlighted differently from 14. So a team that finishes 14 automatically goes to the League 2, while the team that finishes 13, unfortunately, will have to play a relegation maintenance battle. It's not relegation.
Like it's done in some parts of Europe.
In Germany, I think in France equally that they play that relegation battle. So the team that finishes 13 will play the team that finishes second in the playoffs of the Elite 2. Remember, Elite 2 is separated into Pool A and Pool B. They'll play the regular season. At the end of the day, they go and play what is called now the championship playoff and the relegation battle, where the team that finishes first in the championship playoff in Elite 2 automatically joins the big boys, while the team that finishes second will play this 13th team at the end of the day, either to get promotion or to be relegated.
So it's going to be a lot of drama and excitement towards the end of the season.
Find a team that qualifies Elite 2, hoping to play Elite 1, still in Elite 2, while a team that relegated and then finds another chance.
I think the complication will even be in Elite 2 because in Elite 2 it's quite almost very different because you don't even get relegated. You might be relegated to the national interpol, so that's where the confusion might come in.
That is right. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we are wrapping up with the MTN Elite 1. That's what the table looks like after match day 2. So let's grab a breather. We'll come back, we'll tell you about the MTN Elite 2 Championship. Veterans or Virgin side, Victoria United, or rather Kumba City, they participated in the competition for the first time and they picked up an exciting win on home soil. We'll talk about that when we come back from this break.
To Royal TV, the vision of Africa, where news hits right, where sports bring the fire, where debates spark real conversations, and morning shows set the mood for your day.
I will be your host, and of course, the team at Royal TV will be here to keep you entertained, to inform you, and of course, to educate you.
Welcome to Royal TV. This is where kings and queens play. If you want to talk football, local, national, international, we have the best analysts in the Southwest region and beyond. This is Sports Carnival with the Joker.
Mondays, Wednesday, and Friday.
We are here to make sure all of that happens here, today, tomorrow, and always. Stay tuned.
From our streets to your screen, from our culture to the world.
It's massive.
It's more than TV, it's a movement. Royal TV, the vision of Africa.
Royal TV, see us clearly. Royal TV, the vision of Africa. From village to city, we shine.
This is Royal Television. We are here in Boya and we are coming to your screens. Be prepared, be ready.
This February, something fresh is coming from Boya Town.
Royal TV, from Boya Town, the vision of Africa.
A new sound, a new screen, a new energy.
It's about to begin.
Welcome to Royal TV, the vision of Africa, where news hits right, where sports bring the fire, where debates spark real conversations, and morning shows set the mood for your day.
I will be your...
We're on the last segment of our program, Sports Carnival. If you are not available throughout the start, you can catch the rebroadcast tomorrow, same time on Royal TV. This is where Kings and Queens play. We have the best analysts in the Southwest region, and we're talking about the MTN Elite 2 Championship. At this point in time, it's Kumba City who are involved in the game against Bafmen United for the first time at the Government Primary School field in Kumba. The game ended 1-0 in favor of the host Kumba City. It was an exciting encounter for the people of Kumba who had not witnessed elite football for over 2 decades.
Yes, it was exciting time for the people of Meme and Kumba equally. Like you said, about 18 to 20 years, they've not seen such a beauty in terms of elite championship is concerned. We want to appreciate the management of Kumba Football Club first of all, because, you know, before the start of the Elite 2, we were contemplating where they will play their home matches. I was trying to picture probably them using the Molikomi Sports Stadium because of the fitting facility. Others were talking about the Limbe Centenary Stadium as opposed to what they might have. Remember that this particular game was played at the Kumba Municipal Stadium. So a lot of people were quite concerned that how come now they're saying GPS. Unfortunately, we cannot really give you a clear reason as to why the game was changed to the GPS field, because we know that we're going to compare the GPS field and the Moliko. Those are two different facilities. But talking about the game itself, I think that it was an excellent game. Kumba Football Club played exceptionally well. You know, like Victoria United, I was contemplating how this team would fare, because we hadn't seen the signings that you would have expecting for a team who wants to enter Elite 2 and stay in that particular championship. One of the biggest signings that they did was Ignatius Ojong. For those of us who know, Ignatius Ojong played with Istanbul Football Academy in the Southwest Regional League, went to Goketunja Bamenda, and came back to the region, signed for Kumba Football Club. He was exceptional in the game. I think that just because of the fact that the couple of players were very, very new, they had a couple of missed opportunities. But like the game, Victoria United, another issue of penalty decided the game. I've watched that penalty again. I think it's a 50-50.
We always have to go back to the issue of the penalty.
You always have to, because that is what decided the game. But if you take away that penalty, I don't think that Bafmen will complain about the referee. The referee was exceptional. A lot of people have applauded the referee who handled that particular game. Not only him, his 2 assistants were exceptional in the game. And we hope that he continues in the Elite 2, because when we see controversy in the Elite 1 and we see controversy again in Elite 2, it just makes the whole championship not to be worthwhile. And one thing that somebody told me is that he spent, I think it's 20,000 or so, he bought 20 tickets. And he did not regret getting the 20 tickets because he saw exceptional football from Bafmen United and equally Kumba City Football Club. Like you said, the fans were just exceptional. The camaraderie of the fans were exceptional. Even if Bafmen lost the game, you saw the ambience, right? The ambience of Bafmen United. And the two fans that dancing together.
So, Jamia, besides what happened on the pitch, we understand that there was a bad day for the technical staff for Bafmen after they lost the game 1-0. Away from home, there in Kumba, but it was even more difficult for the team because on their way back to Santa, the bus had an accident. Thankfully, no player is hurt, no coaching staff is hurt, just minor injuries. Our thoughts and prayers are with the staff and management and players of Bafmen United. We hope that you're going to be up to speed for the next playing day. So,
they're at home.
How can this affect the Bafmen United team?
Well, I think it's really a bad situation which they find themselves getting back home and then getting that incident. It was really, when I got it, I felt bad as a person, knowing that lives are at stake in such a situation, and now they have to play. I think they will play their next game at home. That will be at the proximity stadium. So I think I just really hope that the players are psychologically stable, the coaches are stable, because that's what helps football is the psychology. If they are not actually, then they can write to the federation for a postponement of their game and saying that they are not ready. Yes, I think that will be proper, because if they go into the game and maybe lose the game, I think it's not going to be good for Bafmen United
to pick up back losses at the
start. They have been they qualified with Esosa in the same year. They played beautiful football. They played the Elite 2 playoffs up. They've never played the Elite 2 playoffs down. So that tells you of the caliber of teams they are. Maybe they fell short of ideas when they came so close to qualifying for the Elite 1. With the relegation of Yosa. people knew Bachman was going to replace them, but they fell short. But I think this time around they should do better going to bed. I think if they are not comfortable playing the next game, then they should write the federation.
If we might just talk about this image, I think it's a beautiful image that I loved so much because it talks about the love for a club. This is something that a lot of people are missing out, especially in the league. You know, we've talked a lot about club branding. Unfortunately, most of the clubs don't know what is called branding. And I was so happy seeing the fans of Bachman United. 99% of them were on with their jersey. And you look at the other side of Kumba Football Club, you start asking yourself a question: what is really the problem? Why are we missing to capitalize on these balls of Kumba Football Club involved in the Elite 2 Championship? We're missing out. Well, you see even in the entrance of the players, the players entering and coming with a Real Madrid jersey, coming with the Lion jersey. You as a club, you as a player, does that speak well? And a lot of images online is only about the player coming with the Real Madrid jersey. So we are missing out, and this is something that we need to really capitalize on.
Dinamo is also playing smart. You know, sorry for publicity, they had their sponsor, they had Canal Plus, the international broadcast institution. Now this is how they have been playing smart. They have denied them of putting Canal Plus on their front shirt, but this is what they did. Their training kids carried Canal Plus.
Supporters jersey.
The supporters jersey too has to do that. But most of the supporters carried the mobile telecommunication logo. But that's the branding Boris is talking about. For say a player comes out with a foreign club
on a match day,
on a match day, that's already should be a fine from the federation. We know what happened to Dynamic. Dynamic used.
Maybe we start from the level of the team. The team should find the player first, and then the federation
sees that they have to sanction the club, because that was what happened with Dynamic FC Oboya in the game at the Boya Town Stadium against the Setting Academy, and they used a foreign club, the jersey, I think that was Chelsea, and they had to be sanctioned because that's very, very unprofessional. Yes, it's an amateur league, but you are not supposed to do that. Even the local academies do not use foreign club, and then talking about Elite 2 coming.
I think that, Jamie, the only issue here is the fact that the federation's marketing charter, for those of us who've seen it, it talks only about the match day. It doesn't talk anything about the dressing code of the players coming to the game. If you look at the marketing charter, it talks about how the coach has to dress, it talks about how the players must have the MTN, the TIOF, the CTFP, and so on and so forth. So it doesn't really talk well about the players themselves. I think that you talked about the fact of the club. I think that you as a club, you must hold yourself responsible. That how can you be going to a match and your player is with a foreign jersey and you allow that? And you know that there are going to be cameras. I think that maybe it was a slip of memory from the players. I'm sure match day 2 it won't happen. We just hope that it will not happen, because if it continues like that, it means that the club is not making value from their fans, from the supporters who are coming to watch this particular game. And I want to talk about the player himself, Leon, because if you look at it as a player, you're going to a match day, you yourself look at the mirror, you leave your house, you put on a Real Madrid jersey. Does that speak well for you as a player? So to me, I don't really fault most of the time the club. I fault the player himself. Because if any right-thinking player should know that I'm going to a match game, our match game. I'm not going to a Barca match game. I'm not going to a Real Madrid match game. So hopefully the player, probably I want to use it as a slip of judgment. I'm sure that match day 2 it won't happen, because a lot of people have hammered Kumba Football Club concerning that particular issue.
All right, so the game ended 1-0 in favor of Kumba City. And the coach, Babo Moses, was very much a satisfied man at the end of the encounter. Let's get his reaction in this video. He was interviewed, of course, by Boris Osono, who was live at the GPS field in Kumba. Dave?
So, first of all, talk to us about your performance today. You must be pleased picking up 3 points for the first game.
Actually, it is my first of all, it is my objective for the first game to take 3 points, to win the population and to keep the boys' head up. It is very difficult, but I know we are going to make it. Today is making just 3 weeks that we have been preparing for this tournament, so it is not an easy one for us. But thank God the objective of this day has been achieved.
Well, he says they've been preparing for just the 3 weeks before the start of the competition. Sure, that was not enough time for them to get everything set. You know, there is a lot of behind the scenes, not just what you see on the pitch.
Yeah, you know, with the uncertainty of when the championship was going to start, again, clubs wanting to go and test the waters, not knowing when the league was going to start. But if they were listening to us, we know the system. We predicted that after the AFCON, the league,
everything is going to be marathon format.
Going to resume. Normally, in a professional setting, normally after the last playing day, there should be that general assembly that talks about
the first
previous season and forecast when the league is going to start for the next football season. But all these laws were made during the AFCON. When the AFCON was being played, we heard of a general assembly being held at the in Chinga, and the laws came out overnight when we first saw it in our first page, and then we knew the rules when the first is going to, the second is going to play the 13th. So you see that he has a point, knowing that the league, everybody was in the dark. Even us media men, we never knew when the league was going to start. We only heard of it just 3 weeks ago when it was published that the league was going to start on the 24th of January. So that again is a problem, because even the first game itself had a problem. There was no hype, there was no build-up. The federation communication team was only interested in the publications of that concerns the president. But whereas there was a league match, Unisport of Bafang against Egli, there's no hype. There is no, even the sponsors are doing nothing. Now, again, the next, it puts us in a league.
If I might just talk briefly about this aspect, you know, sometimes we blame the federation too much, which normally they shouldn't really take much of the blame. We are not saying that we're not blaming them, we're blaming them because they are not doing their job. If you look at the Spanish La Liga, if you look at what they're doing, look at what the French Ligue 1 is doing, even when their clubs were playing in the AFCON, they were hyping their players. Oh, the federation doing, we should be birthday to some people and so on and so forth. That doesn't really make sense. But
down to the teams, I think they should have pre-season.
That is what I'm going to. And also about the part of the marketing.
A pre-season where you have a defined calendar of the championship, because clubs out there in Europe have a pre-season. They know that July is their pre-season month, knowing that they will rest for 1-2 weeks and then going to the championship in August. But here you do there was a pre-season in the West. I think so.
Yes.
But they were playing that pre-season not knowing when the league was going to start.
Yeah, I think that goes to talk about the lapses of the federation. I'm sure that the federation has tried its best, but unfortunately I think more needs to be done, because we cannot stay for like 5 months without the league going on. It doesn't make sense. But we've talked every day, but yet things are falling on deaf ears. We hope that the federation will continue to look at this particular issue, because like Jamie is talking about, if a club does not know an assigned calendar, it makes no sense. You expect me to train for 5 months and I don't even know when the league will start? Okay, when you train for 5 months, what next? Wait again for another 2 months?
It's same with the regional league. Nobody knows when it's going to begin.
The regional league will begin on the 21st, but we know that that particular date might change, because
for the last 7 years,
the 21st of February is mountain race.
For the past 7 years or so, it has been the same pattern.
Yeah.
You know, the regional league will start on this date, and then the communique pops up 2 days before that date to say, oh, the regional league has been postponed, and then we are waiting for a new date, and sometimes it's postponed two or three times.
And they just postponed the seminar on the FIFA Connect system.
Yeah. So you have to understand that.
But I was mostly talking about the aspect of the marketing, like Jimmy was talking about the aspect of the federation not doing their best concerning the mobilization. I want to throw the ball back to the club themselves. How many of these clubs actually market themselves? Aside from Gazelle that does tactical marking of the game. For the past 3 days, Gazelle has been on PWC's neck concerning the patient issue. What are the other clubs doing? You see today, a club will come out one flyer, pap, they have a game, that's all.
But I think
no hype, no boss,
used to do something similar.
Yeah, but they did so because Gazelle pushed them. PW did so last year because Gazelle pushed them.
That's true.
What have they done? They've been quite silent as much as we've seen 1 or 2 training sessions, but we're talking about the value of a club. We have journalists around. Why don't you partner with the journalists to market the game, to make sure that the game gets the vibe? We're talking about Kumba. We hype almost virtually nothing concerning Kumba, except when we got to the game.
Yes.
No hype, no balls. Now, Kumba is playing Racing this Saturday. Till today, we've not seen any balls concerning Kumba playing against Racing. Those are things that we're talking about. It's not necessarily the federation per se, but in partnership with the club, the federation too needs to do its best to make sure that they market the club, they market the players. At least it's for the benefit of the clubs. You know, the club don't go back and pay the federation. If they sell a player, they'll not go and give the federation, take the 500.
Yeah, gentlemen, I think I'm getting the boss. I'm getting the boss. It means that we are running out of time on the program.
Normally, it's really embarrassing to the highest level that our clubs can't really market themselves. The idol we have, Cotton Sports of Garua, is not even doing what we expect. We saw when they signed this player Chindo, that thing that they did, which people were hyping, is not even near what we wanted to see from Cotton Sports of Garua. We saw how our own Chemalong was received at Simba. We saw the
buzz, the hype, the atmosphere around the signing,
and so forth. We don't have the professional. Cotton, I tell you, we don't see posts from the #1 club. They say the most successful club in Cameroon in the 21st century. But you will find nowhere Cotton has ever posted an attractive video that brings engagement. It is embarrassing.
Maybe it's not part of the action plan. We hope to discuss that.
Just briefly, Jimmy. Adding to what Jimmy is talking about, just briefly. Leon, I want to challenge you and challenge all our viewers now. Just go on Facebook, type Cotton. You see about 10 Cotton.
That's true.
So which one is Cotton? If you as a businessman want to go now to Cotton, just type Cotton. That's all.
There is no club that has a verified account in Cameroon as we speak.
All right, gentlemen, I'm guessing the boss. It means that we are running out of time on the program. I want to appreciate you immensely for joining us on Royal TV to talk Royal Sports. Before you leave, you tell us how you feel about participating in the program, the maiden edition, in our fine studio. I know it's fun.
Well, it's always a pleasure, Leon, to share one small knowledge everywhere we find ourselves, because, you know, God gave us a passion, and we try our best to also make sure that we give it out there to also drag other people to follow us. It's been my pleasure. Hopefully we'll make out time to continue this spicy discussion every day.
Thank you very much, Boris. Olandumbe, we hope to have you on Wednesday when we talk about European football. It's going to be wonderful on Wednesday because we're going to talk about everything Arsenal. And of course, we're also bringing to you a West Ham United supporter. So Boris surely will be on set. We don't know about that yet. We hope he's going to join us in the program.
I'm sure that Barca is Barca for life. So anywhere Barca is, I am there.
Okay. So Olandumbe, it's a pleasure to have you on board.
Yeah, it was a pleasure to be here making my debut. I think it was a nice experience knowing that we look at what the bigger colleagues do out there. I think we have kicked the ball rolling and or get the ball rolling. We hope that next Wednesday, we are going to be here again to talk more as far as sports is concerned.
So this is where we dot the i's and cut the t's into this edition of Sports Carnival over Royal TV. This is where Kings and Queens play. I've been your host, the boy born brilliant, born bad and little mad. You can call me Joker, Kange, Leon Caesar, Mr. Wise, so serious. Catch the rendezvous. We broadcast this tomorrow, 8 p.m. A live program on European Sports comes up on Wednesday, 8 p.m. live. We'll be here with the best hands in the region. Stay tuned. Dave was the man manipulating the 1001 buttons. Stay with Royal TV, the new vision of Africa.
To Royal TV, the vision of Africa, where news hits right, where sports bring the fire, where debates spark real conversations, and morning shows set the mood for your day.
I will be your host, and of course, the team at Royal TV will be here to keep you entertained, to inform you, and of course, to educate you.
Welcome to Royal TV. This is where Kings and Queens play. If you want to talk football, local, national, international, we have the best analysts in the Southwest region and beyond. This is Sports Carnival with the Joker.
Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
We are here to make sure all of that happens here today, tomorrow, and always. Stay tuned.
From our streets to your screen, from our culture to the world.
It's massive.
It's more than TV, it's a movement. Royal TV, the vision of Africa.
Royal TV, see us clearly. Royal TV, the vision of Africa. From village to city, we shine.
This is
It's not going. Give it for me. Please, change me that thing. My film they can't start. Please go pay money for something die. Not going. Huh? Not going.
I don't bring that to play. Can't see them.
Not going. I'm not going.
Caro? Caro? Call my answer. Yeah. What's up, baby? Caro? So they go. Sonita! Please, you can come in. Caro? I was with you, but I don't know for Mulango my house. Mulango my enemy. You're enemy. I want to enter room so come on and not disappear so fiang. The house you choke you. In the choke.
Master, they asked me to choke me. But that TV so go give me high blood. That TV so go kill me. You want to cancel this? You don't give me stroke. See something as beginning they go TBA. They don't press from most of them all their hands to get blister. Look at my own blister. Only for fine channel, no way. Cable and fluctuate like our economy. Don't carry the same cash no Mr. Go buy. I say look the thing. Before I die, before I die.
Maybe the only last week I get up with the money, they can fix that cable. You see what is so then now?
Go for day. Go try them. The channel just stand so while abandon mattress, so you need to shake. It just blue. All thing, not sure all thing. You need to walk. So you just try to carry the TV, go through here. Okay, no get you.
Mark, anytime you come here,